What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Hey, head up, she rises. Way head up, she rises. Way head up, she rises. Early in the morning.
I think you've seen enough. Seamen, check course. Now I remember why passengers aren't allowed on the bridge.
Calm down, Morrow. Don't get your knickers in a twist. I'm not hurting anything. I cannot imagine any condition which would cause a ship to founder. I cannot conceive of any vital disaster happening to this vessel. Modern shipbuilding has gone beyond that. Alright, let's go talk to Georgia.
I knew you'd come.
What's happened?
Charles received a telegram from the solicitors. Our estate's to be sold off. He asked about the necklace I gave you. I told him I left it with a purser. Don't say anything to him or Sasha. Not him and his group of... Oh, there's much more to tell you. Can you meet me in my stateroom? I'm in B70. It's Charles' custom to go for a drink in the smoking room. When he does, visit me.
Well, alrighty then.
My dear, I have a little favor. A tiny one.
With pleasure.
Tonight at dinner, a man I don't know was making eyes at me. Be an absolute darling and find out who he is.
How should I do that?
Look him up in the passenger list. All I know are his initials, GQC. The list's someplace. Find it. I'll wait right here. Ta!
Why can't you get Smethels to do it? What do you think I'm... He's literally standing right here. Alright, we gotta get to the smoking room. Is that up here? Who are you?
Lord Lambeth. I'm traveling with my wife, Lady Lambeth. George has decided to take the air. I opted to take this.
Is everything all right?
My wife, Georgia, she's unwell.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, it's not the best situation, I'm afraid. And just one of my trouble.
You have other troubles?
Too many to speak of.
Where did things go wrong?
With Georgia, how else?
Why did you marry her?
4 years ago at a house party. She enchanted me. We got married and we're happy. But Georgia's moods grew volatile. She imagined plots against her everywhere, even with Sasha.
Good night.
Yes, good night to you.
Okay, so now... we will go visit Georgia. B70.
Enter.
Enter.
I wasn't sure you'd come.
Oh, what did you want to tell me?
First, I want to know how you fared these last years. Rather well from the looks of you. I'm glad to see you. You're the only person I can trust. Please promise me you'll help.
Yes, I promise to help you, but what are you gonna do for me? Wink, wink.
You always were there when I needed you. Now, with my life a horrible mess.
What's happening?
When Charles discovered my affair with Sasha, he was quite calm. But I know him, you see. His revenge is taking the necklace, leaving me with nothing. And so I'd never trust him again. Don't you see? They're looking for guns, for bombs.
Who are they?
Sasha's friends. His gallery was their London base. They were rough men, foreign. Sasha told me they were part of a Balkan Aid Society. Stupid girl that I was, I believed him. But then I found out. These people, they... Charles!
Please, Georgia, continue. Was it my title or my income you found so desirable? I was never sure. Now that both assets are depleted, why don't you go to Sasha? Maybe he can help, as he's done before.
Ignore him. I see the smoking room's had its usual effect.
Idle gossip, apparently.
You see his attitude? Please, go.
Since she obviously can't depend on me. Here, take the chill out of the air. Thank you for seeing after my wife. Now I think it best you leave the happy couple, drowning in their happiness. Good night.
Remember, I need your help.
So it seems there's a little love triangle going on between Charles, Georgia, and Sasha. Let's go back to the smoking room.
Hello.
How are you doing, Charles?
You may have heard I am in financial strait. I've borrowed money from Andrew Conkling, money that he is now demanding I pay back. I've none to give. Poverty should remain the domain of the virtuous. I've no taste for it.
Are you trying to tell me that you need money?
To tell you. No, I shall fix things first. And without Georgia. Another drink? Another whiskey for,
Yes, and charge it to room C73.
Hope you don't mind if I do. Now, you, want to know some secrets. Thank you, bartender. I'll tell you one. George's diamond necklace. It's a fake. The one on her neck, leastways. I gave the real necklace to Sasha. It's in his cabin for safekeeping. When he gets to New York, he'll sell it, quickly and quietly, for 20% commission. I'll pay off my debts to Conkling, put Georgia away, sail back to England free and clear.
Why was Georgia afraid of you tonight?
Georgia? Afraid of me? Well, that would be a reaction at least. We no longer evoke emotion in each other. We're a husband and wife in name only.
Put Georgia away?
She's unstable, as you know, so I'm placing her in a sanatorium. An easy thing to do, given her emotional history. The law favors the husband in these matters. She can do nothing about it. God forbid the suffragettes really do win women the vote. They'll never know their place again.
Damn, you gonna put her away in a crazy house? You colder than the water you about to die in. Why doesn't Sasha sell it for Georgia?
Because I threatened to tell Scotland Yard about his Serbian Aid Society, and because Sasha's a greedy bastard. He'd betray his love for 20%. And Georgia thinks she's outsmarted. No, she's got a fake about her neck and doesn't know. Another?
Not for me, Charles.
Good night, then. You'll sleep well. The whiskey and the sea are both smooth for a change.
You keep telling yourself that.
I don't know you, nor do I want to. Leave me, or I shall summon a steward.
It's unusual to see a woman smoking.
Tell me, do you approve of women who smoke?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
You're witty. Most men take their indulgences one at a time. Combine them, like women with tobacco, and they pitch fits. Pity.
You're returning home?
Andrew and I wintered in Cairo. We returned via Paris, where we ran into all sorts of people, including that charming German Colonel Zeitel. He had a great interest in rare books. It will be wonderful to be home. No dust storms, no lepers. Mr. Trask predicts a banner year for me.
Who is Trask?
Trask? A brilliant seer. Brilliant! I consult him about business decisions, and he's never steered me wrong. He instructs me to travel on only 2 ships, the Titanic and the Lusitania.
Ho, I don't think Trask likes you very much. Tell me more.
I must stop our chat here. I've other concerns. My maid, she's left us.
I'm sorry.
Yes, well, good night.
Alrighty, now we need to go to A14 to get the authentic necklace.
Hello. Just seeing to the electric. The fuse box there. She said you've had no time to check her wearing. Adek's been complaining about the lights all night. We'll get her straightened right out. That is if I can find me screwdriver. Wager I forgot it. Ta now. Be right back.
Turn that off. There goes Sasha. Now that the lights in his room are off, we'll turn those back on. Okay. There's not a lot we can do in here, really. Definitely into arts. Okay. 5, 3, 2, 5. Got the real necklace. This is the fake necklace. Alrighty.
What are you doing in my cabin? You must leave immediately. You need to tend to your own affairs. Fortunately, you've left my valuables undisturbed.
Yeah, sure. You keep telling yourself that. Now we will go back to the purser.
Yes, can I help you?
I would like to check something in. I would like to
Yes,
check this
indeed. All
necklace.
jewels go right in the safe.
I require assistance.
Perhaps. As purser, I'm in charge of the Titanic's passengers.
May I check the passenger list?
Have you a name? If you do, I can tell you their cabin number.
More names, more names, more names, more names, more names. A passenger with the initials GQC.
Let me check. Aha. Mr. George Quincy Clifford, A27.
Thank you for your help.
I live to serve.
I think you live for tips, but okay.
Very good then. Good night.
Need to find Daisy.
Did you get it? Get his name?
Yes, it's George Quincy Clifford.
Clifford. Clifford. Never heard of him. You don't suppose he's rich, do you?
Or merely stinking.
You're an angel. And I've news for you, too. While you were gone, Andrew Conkling's been asking for you. Yes, Conkling, the steel bearer. God knows what he's been doing in Europe. Buying it, probably. Where was I? Oh, yes. Andrew Conkling asked me to pass along this. You know his wife Beatrix, the designer. Such an eye! Her clothes preserve the bust line. Couldn't be more flattering. Keeps the eye moving. Much nicer than Worth's. They're friends with Captain Smith. Smith! So handsome, so dashing. White Star's best officer. Or was. He's retiring after this voyage. Couldn't be more tragic. My dear, you've blanched. Bad news?
I think he's retiring on this voyage. Good night.
Certainly, certainly. I must... It's Mrs. Burbank! Consuelo!
All right, let's go see what Conkling wants. If I remember correctly, how to get to Scotland Road. E-deck.
A fine night to be indoors, cold as the dickens outside. Cold but clear.
Who are you?
Clear as a bell, and the stars, oh, you should see 1,000,000 stars in God's firmament. A congregation of light. The name's Trout. The Reverend Edgar. I'm returning from a mission in Africa, to Sunapee, New Hampshire, where I live. Emily, my wife, she's dead.
My sympathies.
Thank you. We had looked forward to this journey. But she died at Port Said, though it was Nyasaland that killed her. The doctors, you know, never did find all the parasites. I have seen a first-class passenger, a Mr. Hadelitz, among the steerage class. He's been gambling with the crew and worse. I followed him into third class, on F deck, where he visited the room of an unchaperoned young woman.
Tell me more.
I will speak to the authorities. Such behavior, it smacks of socialism and unrest. I was wondering, perhaps you'd care to make a donation to our mission in Nyasaland.
Yes, let's talk about it later.
Thank you so much. I will call on you tomorrow. Good evening.
I thought that guy was in second class, and Scotland Road is in third class. So, what's his issue with class mixing?
Hello, I'm Conkling. Good of you to come. I trust you're finding the accommodation satisfactory?
Why do you want to meet here?
Sorry to seem mysterious. You must understand, someone in my position, an investor in this ship, needs discretion.
It's the better part of valor.
You're under no obligation, of course. I have a slight problem. You may be able to help. A servant has stolen an important business document from me, and I must recover it. A few years ago, my wife Beatrix hired a young Irish girl as maid in our London house. We treated her well. 2 weeks ago, she up and left without notice, taking a certain letter with her. I'd given up all hope of recovering it, until my wife spotted her this morning on the third-class promenade. Needless to say, I checked with the purser. She'd been scheduled to sail on the Philadelphia, but those passengers were transferred on board the Titanic because of a coal strike.
You're lucky she's on the ship.
Yes, you could say so.
Why not apprehend the thief yourself?
I'd prefer to employ the services of a third party. You.
Why ask me to do this?
Government officials, friends of mine, told me a bureau agent was on board. I found you through Mrs. Cashmore, a preposterous woman. But she does have an eye for accomplishment. Look, will you help me? You will be rewarded handsomely.
Perhaps. What's the maid's name?
Her name is Shayla Hacker. She's 20 or thereabouts. I was her benefactor, one might say.
Just her benefactor?
Yes. This puts me in a, difficult situation. This young woman, she could cause considerable damage to me, to my reputation if she goes to the newspapers.
Where's the woman now?
I've gotten word to her to meet on the poop deck. Go in my place. Tell her there'll be no trouble if she returns the letter. Afterwards, report to me in our suite, B59. Her name is Shayla Hacker. Good night.
Alrighty. So... need to get to the poop deck.
What did I tell you, Shay? I knew he'd not come in person.
Hush, Jack, hush. Conklin, he did send you, didn't he?
Conkling told me to meet with the lady.
I told you, it's a trick. I knew Conklin wouldn't come. He sent one of his cronies instead.
Are you Miss Hacker's friend?
I'm her brother. And Conklin, because of him, Shayla's had to leave everything and everyone she knows.
Jack, no.
That son of a bitch. She was his maid and all the time violating it.
Hush, Jack. I'll have no more of it. Go on, Jack, say it.
You tell Conklin we have his letter, and he'll not be seeing it till he coughs up a tidy sum, too.
How much money for the letter?
5,000, do you hear? Dollars. Enough to get her started right. And if he moves a hand against us, I'll make sure the newspapers get the letter and print it. So tell Conklin. 5,000. Measured against what he has, it's a bloody bargain.
I must go.
Meet us here again. At 1 tonight.
$5,000, then he'll get his damn letter. Agreed?
Agreed.
We'll be waiting for you.
So $5,000 in 1912, that's about $150,000 in today's money. Nice tidy sum. So now we'll go back to Andrew Conkling. What did he say? B59?
Come in. I'd hoped to meet you earlier. However, my wife and I were calling on the Astors. Madeline's pregnant. Beatrix was thrilled. We have no children.
Jack wants $5,000 for the letter.
I see. It's a ransom. May I present Mrs. Conkling?
You should pitch the ungrateful girl overboard.
Charmed.
Your clothes, French cut. Quite fetching. I forgot to tell you when we first met.
Beatrix is on her way to California. She's got a new project in... Where is it, dear?
A cow town, someplace called Los Angeles. I'm doing up a little resort there. It's called the Beverly Hills Hotel. So, where is the Irish tart? Dreaming of her newfound riches?
We were just talking about that, darling.
My husband and myself extended every courtesy, showed every kindness to Shayla. We've no children. Shayla became quite dear to us. So her theft hurt us all the more for the trust we placed in her. Don't fail us. Now, excuse me. I must retire. I have a frightful headache.
Maybe if you took off that hat.
It was a pleasure. Good night. Andrew?
My wife felt strongly about Shayla. As I've told you, we've no children of our own. Look, you must get that letter. Don't wait until tomorrow. See if you can speak to Shayla directly, without her brother. She's in the third-class cabins forward, on F deck, number 59. Good night. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
So we have another love triangle. A cow town. A place called Los Angeles. Something Picasso. He won't amount to a thing. He won't. Trust me. E-deck. She said forward. Scotland Road. This is forward, correct? Oh, it's on F deck.
Jack, is that you? I'll be right out. I don't want to wake the baby. Oh,
It's not Jack. He's preoccupied with Rose in the cargo hold.
but we were meeting later. Where's Jack?
I want to know about Conkling's letter.
Please, I don't want no trouble. I didn't know the letter was so dear. I just wanted to take something, anything that looked valuable. For the baby. It was Jack who read it. Saw it was bad for Mr. Conkling. He said the bit about selling bad steel would ruin him if it was to get out in the papers.
Tell me about the baby.
My baby, Eddie. He's the only reason I stood them last month at the Conklings. I knew Mr. Conkling weren't going to leave his missus. I was only a parlor maid, but I didn't care. I was happy to have his baby. Him and Mrs. Conkling, I thought they was so kind. Until I found out.
Found out about what?
That Mrs. Conkling was going to steal my baby for her own.
Jesus.
Once I had it, she would fire me and take Eddie first. She can't have her own babies. So they used me to get one, to get Eddie. When I found out that was her plan, I left. I didn't know the letter was anything. I thought it might hold a pound or two.
Tell me about the steel.
Anyway, Jack, he says Mr. Conkling got the letter from an engineer up at the mill.
And what did it say?
Said the mill's been making bad steel. High in sulfur is what he called it. The steel's no good, and they put it in the Titanic. It'd be a scandal if it got out. That's why Mr. Conkling wants the letter back. But Jack, he says Conkling'll have to pay us to get it. $5,000. Mrs. Conkling's probably behind it. All she cares about is a fine name and pots of cat and a baby. But she won't get Eddie. No, she won't. And if she tries, I'll ruin her. Make her poor as me.
Good night.
Well, that's Eddie. Bye. Don't forget about our meeting.
Yeah, so we got a whole other love triangle going on. Alright, how do we get back out of here? Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. Next episode we'll get into some more espionage. I'm gonna track down Willie von Hadelitz. See what he's up to. Actually, I guess we'll need to report back to Penny and let her know that we actually got the painting. But until then, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or I'll get you.